So when was it that you properly got into Bitcoin? What year were you became part of the movement?
It was summer 2017.
Okay.
That's when
Yeah.
I started making the art pieces. Soon after that, News BTC came in. They allowed me to start writing on their channel about creativity because that was, I mean, it's mostly about price prediction, even still today. And it's not a maxi channel, even though people might think so because it's BTC only. But it's been a positive thing because it's allowed me to help other artists. I can publish my own things direct to the market, and of course bring a very different point of view to the whole space than especially up until then it was all about, because it was mostly about engineers and
Yeah.
coders and tech stuff. So it was a water breaking moment, and because of those articles, I think it was the first hedge fund that collected a major piece from me, and that went to Barcelona. That got me funded to go to Miami for the North American Bitcoin conference, and that was another just an amazing thing because that was at the height or just before the crash of the previous bull market, and it was that moment of being not only in Miami for the first time, but there were about 4,000 people in a conference room, utterly packed, and you could just like it felt like you could charge your phone off the electricity of the air of how excited people were around that time over there, and the deals being made and the parties and the whole thing. It was just such a mesmerizing thing, and of course that was the first time I got properly scammed as well. So
Oh, so tell me about that. What happened there? Because that's always an interesting subject.
I can't really go into the details of that.
It's too painful.
But I did get fucked over. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get to, and that leads me into the next question. Is actually before that, going back a little bit, is why create digital art in the first place? What led you? And we spoke a little bit about it, but what led you to the kind of idea of taking body painting, and then redigitizing that, and then creating that as kind of high fidelity, high gloss artworks?
Well, originally it was a lack of skill in terms of being able to paint. I just thought that, because going very very back, it was I think I was about maybe 12 years old or something, like 11 years old. I was in class and we were doing drawing. I don't know what it's called in English, like just the arts,
Yeah.
I suppose,
Yeah.
education. And we always did watercolors, and I hated them because they're so bland and the paper was
We're always
wet. And
told to copy
I was
someone as
probably,
well. Like you never get to express yourself outside of the very confined boundaries in school.
to this day, I fucking hate watercolors. And basically, I was having to do a watercolor, and then I was probably thinking of a drum beat in my head or something like that. And the teacher came and was very sort of a powerful figure on the up like this and looking down at the thing that I did. I just said, "Well, obviously, you have no talent in painting whatsoever."
It
And
sounds very Nordic the way you put it that way.
yeah, and then, but I had to agree. I mean, I looked at what was in front of me, and I was like, "Yeah, it's a piece of shit."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care for it. But that sort of got me this whole circus going on in my head. That's my dog, by the way.
I know
That's
I
why
saw
there's
him
such
kind
a.
of popping around in the background a little bit.
He's always washing his balls when I'm doing an interview, which is very helpful. Uh, so yeah, so I agreed. So I did a bunch of different creativity, from writing to photography to film to all these different things. But I always had this thing in the back of my head: I can't paint, I can't paint. And obviously, I couldn't paint because I hadn't done any of it. But then I realized that, hold on a minute, if I had someone who I would body paint, I could direct them, I could tell a story, I could photograph them, I could Photoshop, I could light, I could print them into work. So I could maybe make something happen that I haven't seen before if I do it this way. And lo and behold, I found this very crazy and cool lady called Sophia, who became my first model. And we just had an experimentative photo session where her body was painted, and she was a very expressive, kind of um, liberated human, I suppose, in many different ways. And it was just, when I saw the first piece in front of me that I call The Escapist, it was like my whole life changed. I didn't want to be a filmmaker anymore. I didn't want to have a production company. I just sort of Still had bills to pay, and then I got ill, and it was a whole ordeal altogether. But as soon as I saw that first piece, I was like, this is what I'm doing now. And that's 12 years ago, and I'm on that road ever since.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. So it's your artwork's kind of a combination. I was showing it quickly. I don't want to get like the stream taken down or anything, so I kind of covered the nipples with my mouse as I was going. Um, um, but
Oh, it's been actually fine. No
oh,
one's
really?
ever taken down any
On
of my work
YouTube?
ever anywhere. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay.
not even
Okay, fantastic.
Facebook.
I'm a little bit
No,
nervous, but I think
nowhere.
it should be fine. I'm gonna show it. But so your artwork is kind of a combination of photography, painting, body painting, Photoshop, and how many different processes are in there?
Well, it starts from the story. I mean, I got along the way educated as a hypnotherapist as well in NLP,
Oh, wow. How
and the
many?
whole
Sorry
point
to
was to.
interrupt, but how many qualifications do you have? You said you did business. How many different things do you know? To put it in like a.
I'm just a sponge of a brain, I guess. I just, in terms of academically official stuff, I just got a BA in media production, which is a measly thing. But in terms of getting into very, very interesting fields and meeting a bunch of interesting people, and especially through filmmaking, I was drawn to interesting individuals who have something to say or to contribute. So I'm just on a continuous learning curve. I think all my learning really started when I discovered audiobooks right after graduating university, and then I realized what a scam the whole schooling system was when I got introduced to information that was truly unfiltered by a, what you would call these big motions or power structures in the world. All of a sudden, the inspiration that I was looking for was just right there in